Are you a beginner in data science trying to learn PCA or applied linear algebra? If so, it's likely that you're just using MS Excel spreadsheets to learn the basics, rather than using R or Python. This is because there's a learning curve to work R or Python if you are new to it, while at the same time there's another learning curve to understand PCA and linear algebra separately. Now, learning the two at the same time can be daunting, and you might find yourself torn between focusing on software or focusing on analysis, constantly shifting between the two, that you just end up being frustrated and giving up on both early. This leaves you with just hitting the books and trying to understand pure theory, but the theory is dense, and it's forbidding enough to learn without the aid of software. For example, the discussions of eigenvalues and eigenvectors appear to be the toughest hurdle, since it's hard to imagine n-space or even working the n-space computations for actual applications. Most pure theory approaches stop at 2-dimension or 3-dimensional space to compute eigenvalues and eigenvectors to make the discussions tractable to paper and pen computations. But in practice, the actual computations are best left to software, so you're back at square one, not understanding the applications. Of course, you can rely instead on MS Excel. But the problem is that while MS Excel can do matrix operations and group statistics, it can't do principal components analysis without coding or separate add-ins. Well, luckily for you, I had a small but powerful educational software called Quantprof, an Excel add-in which I wrote and developed way back in 2002 to help students learn the quantitative analysis heavily used in finance and also in the CFA program. Little did I know that those analytical and computational skills have far-reaching applications beyond finance, especially in data science in general. So there are actually more and more people trying to learn PCA in general nowadays. Using Quantprof, you can master the concepts and computations on a small case using MS Excel, after which you can do large-scale data analysis problems using more appropriate software such as R or Python, which you can learn separately from the quantitative analysis. Then there's always this added benefit that you can spot check your R or Python computations using MS Excel, so your spreadsheet skills are never wasted. So if you are in any of these fields where PCA is used and the applications are actually quite extensive and you wish to learn PCA, then go ahead and use Quantprof and learn the theory behind PCA. This video is intended to help you overcome the learning curves discussed above. The challenges in learning PCA. In order to understand PCA, there are foundational concepts one has to learn, from covariance and correlations, what are those, to how to actually work matrix operations, the whole linear algebra thing, especially discussions on eigenvalues and eigenvectors, etc. Now, these topics have been tackled in previous episodes of this channel, and please feel free to visit the created playlist to go through the learning materials already there, starting from basic statistics, to matrix operations, to the conceptual framework for PCA, including the discussion of eigenvectors and eigenvalues, culminating in the PCA and regression walkthrough videos, Part 1 and Part 2. The Quantprof Lite add-in. With Quantprof, you can actually do the following: compute for statistics, especially covariances and correlations, giving the full matrix rather than half the matrix that Excel provides. You can also do matrix operations, from addition, subtraction, multiplication, transposition, and the inversion of the matrix, all from the menu. You can do principal components analysis and factor analysis, including the rotations of the loadings using Varimax. And you can also do multiple linear regression with the ANOVA and test of hypothesis being also shown. Now, how to download and use Quantprof. To download Quantprof, please visit the video description below and download from there the file called Quantprof Lite 2025. It's an Excel add-in, so it uses macros to automate the computations required to work PCA. This means that to use it, you have to adjust the security settings of Excel to be able to use macros. After downloading, well, you still can't use Quantprof until after making one last adjustment. Since you've downloaded an add-in using macros from Google Drive, it will automatically be rendered as unsafe by Windows and blocked. To unblock, simply right-click on the file and choose Unblock from the security settings in the properties. Finally, note that Quantprof was written for MS Excel for Windows and it's not expected to work with Apple computers. How to use Quantprof? Upon opening Quantprof, this will pop up. Kindly read the terms and conditions if this is the first time you're using it, and then press enter. Once it's activated, just go to menu, choose add-ins, then select Quantprof menu. If you're able to do this, well, congratulations. You're now ready to go through the tutorials equipped with Quantprof. If you need seminars, online, or on-site courses in Metro Manila, you can get in touch with me using my LinkedIn account. Well, that's all that we have for now. Please like and subscribe to help support the channel. See you next time.